Welcome one and all to the Darcblade Safari, where we take a look at the creatures that roam the lands of Monster Hunter World. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at one of the more famous monsters from the franchise, the Queen of the Land, Rathian. Rathian makes her home in two areas, the Ancient Forest and Wildspire Waste. When she's playing Happy Family with her husband Rathalos, she spends most of her time in the Ancient Forest, patrolling the area, protecting her home and nest. When Rathalos is getting on her nerves, Rathian will venture to her second home in the Wildspire Waste, to which again she'll patrol the lush areas of the waste and occasionally check in with her second nest. When it comes to dinner time, she will happily take down large vegetarian monsters in the area with brutal efficiency, Absiros in the Wildspire Waste and Aptonath in the Ancient Forest. Rathian does have a temper though, and if hunters or monsters approach her head on, she will gladly say hello with a spiked tail to the face. Rathian could be described as a true flying wyvern. With typical wyvern physiology, she has two massive wings, two legs, a long tail, dragon-like head and features. She is very similar to her partner Rathalos, but while her husband is a deep red colour, Rathian is a dull green. She also accessorizes with a fur pelt on her shoulders to show that she has style. Now, while she looks like a typical wyvern on the surface, she does have some notable differences to Rathalos. She has more powerful legs, for example, that allow her to be more deadly while grounded. She also has a massive club spiked tail, larger than Rathalos, and these spikes are coated with poison that allow her to inflict the ailment on her foes. When it comes to socializing with other monsters, Rathian can be quite aggressive, especially if her nest is involved. If hunters or Kuliaku raid the nest for an omelette dinner, then Rathian will instantly turn her maternal instincts up to well over 9,000 and chase down the egg thief. Rathian is normally outclassed in fights when the apex predators of the areas are involved, but even then she will try her best to protect her home and eggs. When it comes to protecting the homestead, Rathian has a lot of abilities and attacks up her sleeve. Through a mix of powerful land and air abilities, she can easily take down inexperienced hunters. Most of her basic attacks are performed while she's grounded. She will often bite at foes, swing with her tail up to 2 times, which can hit foes both in front and behind her. She also has a charge attack that will cause Rathian to run headlong into foes, bowling them over along the way. If hunters are unlucky, Rathian can charge multiple times, potentially stun locking a hunter. If the fight is looking a little tough for Rathian, then she will start making use of her massive wings to aid her and give her more attack options. These include a basic swoop attack and a massive somersault. The somersault attack is very powerful, and as the hit comes from the spiked tail, hunters hit by it will be sent flying and poisoned to boot. When Rathian really gets mad, she'll turn up the heat and employ her fire attacks. You can tell when she's enraged by the flames spouting from her mouth as she barely contains the inferno within. When the time is right, Rathian has 2 fire attacks to make use of. The first is a single hard-hitting blast of fire right in front of her, and the other is a combination of 3 smaller fireballs that she will fire out, one to the left, one to the right, and one straight ahead of her. Hunters hit by these will likely be set alight and burn until they drop and roll. Finally, Rathian does have a decent set of lungs on her and will often deafen hunters who don't have noise cancelling headphones. When it comes to taking down the queen, hunters should aim for the tail, wings or head. The wings and tail both have a 2-star weakness rating to all weapon types, while the head has a 3-star rating. All of these are breakable too, with the tail being severable. Focusing and breaking these body parts will help hunters gain specific plunder. When it comes to the elements, Rathian is weakest to the dragon element with a 3-star rating. This is then followed by thunder with a 2-star rating, ice and water have a 1-star rating, and fire is rated X against the flying wyvern. As for elements, Rathian is most susceptible to getting a concussion via stun-based attacks, which has a 3-star rating. This is then followed by sleep and paralysis, which have a 2-star rating, and finally both blast and poison are rated 1 star to show Rathian's natural resistance to these elements. The rarest loot that Rathian yields include the Rathian plate and ruby. Unfortunately, there is no real way to increase your chances of getting these via a hunt, but you can employ the services of the Elder Melder back in Astera to get this rarer loot. It is advisable to bring anti-poison items to the fight when hunting down Rathian, but that being said, if you're using a severing weapon, then try to take the opportunity to perform some field surgery and amputate Rathian's tail. This will remove her ability to apply poison to hunters. When it comes to her fire attacks, should a hunter be set alight, remember to roll on the ground to put it out, or even make use of the fireproof mantle if you have it. Setting up traps or utilising elements that restrict movement will help hunters if Rathian goes into her charge mode. And while she's in the air, hunters can make the sky a no-fly zone, by using flash pods or even bright moss to knock her down. However, with bright moss, you have to make sure to hit Rathian's head a few times while she's airborne. For gold crown hunters out there, the small gold crown for Rathian is found at around the 1561 mark and the large at 2175. Overall, Rathian is one of the more iconic monsters of the entire Monster Hunter franchise. While she is often overshadowed by her spotlight-hugging husband, Rathalos, she is more than just a carbon copy of the series' flagship monster. She specializes when it comes to ground assault, which newer hunters may find difficult to cope with at first. That being said though, Rathian is a great monster to practice and learn weapons against. Her attacks at the end of the day are easy to predict, and after some practice, hunters should be able to easily counter her and control the hunt. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative or entertaining, and until next time, I've been your guide Darcblade, bringing you a safari guide to Rathian in Monster Hunter World. Hope you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, subscribe and like for more.